Welcome back. It is Friday, October 25th in the NBA. My 6 best bets are on the way. We have a big action-packed card. Let's dive into it. First, we recap how we did yesterday on Thursday. A 2-1 day in the NBA. We'll take it. T-Wolves money line, pretty sweaty, but they come through. Chet Holmgren's over in points, sweat-free. Then Wembanyama over in rebounds plus assists. Didn't really get many assists. I feel like he had several rebounds taken away from him, but either way, not a great game for him and the Spurs in their debut. But either way, a 2-1 day, we'll take it. Today, we have a 1-unit play and a couple of half-unit plays that we'll dive into in just one moment. I do want to point out a couple of things. Number one, there's a good chance we add a play today. It'll be down below in the pinned comment. I'll try to add it pretty early on in the morning so you can get it locked into your sportsbook. So definitely make sure you get into that. If you want to make sure you get all our plays early, you can join the DubClub. Reminder, we have 2 free trials. Well, we have a 14-day free trial out there and a buy 3 months, get 1 free. If you want to join the NBA and get all the picks early, I encourage you to do that. And number 2, there's a sleeper offer out there that's really good. It's only available until Halloween. So for the next, 6 days, they're matching your deposit up to 200%. So if you deposit $100, they're giving you an extra $200. I've never seen a daily fantasy app do a promo like this before. The only way you get that, though, use code COS or the link in the description. They'll match your deposit just for the next few days. 200%. Pretty cool offer. But let's dive into the picks today. We got a couple props, a couple game picks. We're going to dive into our first 1-unit play of the season. We'll have probably 500 more of these things. D'Angelo Russell, the Los Angeles Lakers, over 20.5 points plus assists, minus 115 on FanDuel. Now, if you only have points or assist lines, I actually like both of them. I almost consider taking the assists, which is plus 125 at 5.5. I really like D'Lo's matchup tonight. While I won't lie to you, we have another pick in this game, and it might be on the other side, but I like this matchup for D'Angelo Russell. Now, if you look at his opening night game, sure, he didn't play too well. Again, this is a 1-unit play. The rest of the plays in the video will just be a half unit. Now, if you look at D'Lo, he sucked in game 1. He had 9 points, 5 assists, so 14. We need 21. 4 for 12, 1 for 7 from 3. But I love to see the 34 minutes and the 12 field goal attempts. Despite not shooting the ball well, still was out there shooting. And we know that's kind of D'Angelo Russell's game. He'll shoot the ball a good amount. And that was a tough matchup against the Timberwolves, a team loaded with elite guard defenders. And we talk about McDaniels. They got Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They got just a ton of elite defenders out there, which provides a tough spot for him. But I like this matchup for Phoenix a lot more. We look at D'Lo. He's probably going to be faced by Tyus Jones, which is not a bad matchup. And we saw D'Lo take advantage of this matchup last season, albeit Tyus Jones was not there, but still a matchup that he exploited in the games last year versus them. 19, 28, 13, 25, and 27 points plus assists on 16, 12, 11, 14, and 14 field goal attempts. So again, he was hitting this number pretty consistently. Had a couple games where he shot really poor from the field, and that's going to happen, but he got that game out of his system. I like this one to be a good spot for him. On opening night, D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers with 67 total passes made. Now, that doesn't do anything for us, but if he's passing the ball to his teammates, could put us in some assist opportunities. 5 assists on 12 potential assists. I mean, last year, D'Lo, 6.3 assists per game and 18 points per game. So a pretty big decrease in this line. I think it's just coming off a bad game. I think this is a spot where we can expect him to see a similar usage and workload as he's seen the last few years. The Lakers really don't have a super deep team. The backup point guard for him is going to be Gabe Vincent, who's dealt with a lot of injuries last year. So I can't imagine they want to play him a ton. And you look at his props, D'Lo, 3+ threes made, minus 150. And last year when he made 3 threes, he's over this line in 28 of his last 30. He's also over in 65% of games with 10+ field goal attempts. So I think he's shooting at a bunch. JJ Redick, he wants his offense to shoot threes. And look, one of the best 3-point shooters is D'Lo. So for 1 unit, I like his over 20.5 points plus assists. You can take the PRA line, but I don't count on D'Lo to grab reps. My second play before diving into some game picks is a half-unit play. It's on a rookie, the number 9 overall pick, Zach Edey, over 6.5 points, minus 110. I'm bet through 6.5. I like this at 7.5. I almost honestly considered playing his double-double. I'm just playing this for a half unit. I played 7.5 for a half unit as well. Jaren Jackson Jr., his injury status could change throughout the day, so maybe this line changes. But Jaren, as of this moment, he is doubtful to play. I don't anticipate him playing tonight. If he does, it is what it is. Zach Edey will move to the bench probably, but I don't mind him there. This is a 6.5 points line. We shouldn't need 30 minutes to hit this. Now, Edey's debut, a disaster class. What do I mean? Well, he scored 5 points, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 for 5 from the free throw line in 15 minutes. He fouled out. I don't know if a top 10 pick has fouled out quicker than Zach Edey did. Sure, whatever. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be in there for 30 minutes a game, but he was heavily limited by those fouls. And even if he gets, even though he had dealt with foul trouble, he still was basically at this line. If he could make some free throws, he'd probably go over. And he's not the best free throw shooter, but he's better than 1 for 5. And they're going to face the Rockets and Alperen Şengün tonight. Şengün, I've been pretty critical of him. He's not a great defender, especially at the rim. And even if he is going to contest shots at the rim, you'd imagine it's going to be contesting John Morant. Should get a full head of steam, going to be up in the tops of the league in drives per game. So if he contests those shots, Edey should be there to grab some boards. I like this matchup for Edey. I think he could realistically get 8 points and 8 rebounds, maybe even get a double-double, which is plus 800. So I'm not going to go too hard into this one. I just think the volume will be there for Edey, and he obviously has size on everyone on the court that the Rockets can throw out there. So, and they'll probably want his size against Şengün. Let's just stay out of foul trouble a little bit so we can get closer to like 22 to 25 minutes, and I think Edey easily clears this line. So give me his over 6.5 points. I'm going to throw it to Logan. He's actually joined me. He's been listening to me yap for a few minutes. He's actually going back to that Suns game. I love his pick today, but Logan, I'll let you take it away with your favorite game pick of the day. Great call on T-Wolves. Let's hope this one is not as sweaty as that one. What do you got?
In the association, the picks are always sweaty, but hopefully this one is a winner just like last night. I'm rolling with the Phoenix Suns on the money line, plus 115 odds on Bet365 is your best value there. Now, to me, there is good value on the Suns as a slight underdog. I don't like to lay a ton of points typically with them on big spreads, but this is a slight spread, road type roll for the Suns. Last season, since we don't really have data this year, we just kind of have to go look at how these two teams matched last year. Last season, the Suns won 2 of 5 against the Lakers, so that doesn't look great on paper, but you have to go into the box scores, really do some digging. Booker, he was out in 2 of those 3 losses, and then when the Suns' big 3 were actually healthy, they won 127 to 109 on the road against the Lakers. So when that team is healthy, they can easily score 130 and just kind of run the Lakers out of the gym. They have the firepower to shoot the Lakers really out of this game. That's kind of what I'm banking on in this one. I mean, are the Suns going to play a lot of defense? Are they going to give the Lakers tough looks like the Timberwolves did game 1? Not really. But the Suns did what I really like. They shot 39.5% from 3 in their first game against the Clippers. Coming out into a new season, shooting the lights out or shooting well like that, above average, is what I really want to see. We saw in that Lakers versus Timberwolves game, the Timberwolves just really couldn't buy a basket when they needed to in that game. The LA offense was just enough to get by. I don't see the Lakers really having enough shooters to be able to compete with the Suns. The Lakers are probably going to trade 2 for 3s. I mean, you can get some AD 2-pointers down in the paint. I don't care. But Booker and KD, if on the other end, they're getting 3s. That's what we like. Last point of note, little stat for you. Last season, the Suns were 30th, dead last in the fourth quarter margin. They were minus 2.4 points. If they trailed, they normally lost those games or blew a lead. It was just a kind of disaster class in the fourth quarter. This season, they won the fourth by 2 points against the Clippers. They also trailed by 10 with 6 minutes to go. If they can tighten up down the stretch and win some of these fourth quarter games, then they're a team that we can back. And last season, they were not profitable at times because of that stat alone. I like to see it's small sample size, I know, but I like to see what we're growing with this year. Already a huge improvement from last year. Let's go Suns. Love that as my favorite money line of the day. Austin, turn it back to you though.
Yeah, I mean, we know those spread picks are going to be sweaty. So hopefully D'Lo's cooking the Suns, and that's the only person doing anything. I like the Suns money line as well. I really think Budenholzer will be a big change for them. I'll dive into my game pick. It almost was a spread, but instead I'm going to an under. Our first total of the year. Pistons and Cavaliers under 228.5, minus 115 on DraftKings. Again, for just a half unit. The only play in this video more than a half unit is that D'Angelo Russell prop, which I really like. Why do I like the under here in this Cleveland opener, right? This should be their opener. They were on the road in Toronto for their first one. I think this Pistons defense is going to actually be pretty good this season. And while I do like the Pistons plus 11 or plus 10.5, I think if they're going to cover, it's got to be a lower scoring game. If this is a high scoring game, they're going back and forth with the Cavaliers. I don't love that. So I think this is a good spot. Opening night versus the Pacers, one of the best offenses in the league. We know the Pacers are going to be up there in terms of points per game. They limited them to 115 points. Played really well in the first half, but Second half didn't look too good. Gave up 66 points in the second half. They obviously blew their 10-point lead or whatever it was in that fourth quarter, which played to our benefit because we had Pacers minus 3.5. But this Pistons defense is going to be a lot better and a lot more fiery. JB Bickerstaff is their head coach. He obviously anchored some very good defensive units in his past tenure with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's a little bit of a revenge game. They fired him after winning a playoff series. Now, I can understand why they let him go. But if you're the Pistons, and JB Bickerstaff's going to be a head coach, he's going to say, it's just another game. But you think those Pistons players want to go out there and go into Cleveland, their new head coach's stomping ground, second game of the season, and not give it their all defensively? I don't think so. You could argue the Pistons last year, no motivation, and you can blame Monty Williams for that. He collected his bag and then dipped. But this is a Pistons team, and I like JB Bickerstaff. He's a motivational and he's an emotional head coach. I think they show up here defensively. I don't love the Pistons offensively. They really just have Cade Cunningham and then a bunch of other guys that you're just banking on launching. But this is just two defenses I like. And now I also like the under because the Cavaliers just came off 136 points. They played a G League team, or they played the Raptors, if you will. The Raptors are one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they pushed the pace too. They shot 59%. Look, if a team shoots 59%, I'm going to be willing to fade them the next game because those shots are probably not going to fall at that high of a clip. And if they do, I tip my cap. But I think this is a lower scoring game here. 228.5, way too high. I think if you were to play this game in like January or February, this would be in like the 215s, but it's still game 2 of the season. So still trying to figure it out. I think it's a lower scoring game. I think you might get to like 110. One of the teams might get to 110, if that. I like the under 228.5. I'm going to wrap things up with a couple more props. And you know what? Speaking of unders, let's dive into my under of the day. We get an under for props. Cam Thomas, the Brooklyn Nets under 26.5 points, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, if you faded Cam Thomas in game 1, you got torched as he absolutely lit up the scoreboard, and he'll do that plenty of times this season. But I don't like this matchup for Cam Thomas. Playing this for a half unit, I like it at 25.5 as well. Now, like I said, Thomas started the season with a bang. 36 points, 14 of 27 shooting, 7 of 13 from 3 versus the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I'm going to be honest, the Atlanta Hawks are not going to be a great defense this season. We know that. Today, he'll get one of the, if not the hardest matchup in the NBA facing the Orlando Magic, a team that gives it their all offensively, but mostly defensively. We saw them do that to the Miami Heat in that second half. Last season, Orlando, 3rd in defensive rating. Wouldn't shock me if once again they're in that top 3. They went out and got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, one of the better guard defenders in the league. So not only do you have KCP, you have Jalen Suggs as well, 2 elite defenders. So Cam Thomas, regardless of where he goes, he's going to have a top 10 percentile defender on him all game long, whether it's KCP, whether it's Suggs, whether it's even Gary Harris off the bench. All 3 good defenders. So Thomas, if he's going to go over this line, he's going to have to make tough buckets. And while sure, he's going to get some good volume tonight, good volume against very tough defense, I'll take my chances there. Look, you saw last season versus Orlando, Thomas, 20 and 21 points. It's not like he didn't shoot a ton. 23 and 19 field goal attempts, and he played 38 or more minutes in both those 2 games. I don't think he's getting the 38 minutes. This is a game with an 11.5 spread, so it could always be a blowout. And you look at his other props, despite making 7 threes in the game 1, his 4+ threes line, plus 200. So they're obviously saying, hey, we don't think he makes 4 threes. Last season, when Thomas made 3 or fewer, he averaged less than 20 points per game, 182% of games. I know his volume's going to be elite, and maybe I'll back him in his next game against the Bucks. My hope is that he tanks here, we get a lower line, and we can target him against the Milwaukee Bucks, a matchup that I don't mind taking guards against. So again, I like Cam Thomas, my under of the day, under 26.5 points. Going to try to incorporate at least 1 or 2 unders going forward into the channel every single day. I like this one for a half unit. And then the final play of the day. Let's get out of here. A half unit play, a 3-leg Bucks same game parlay. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 25 points and 8 rebounds, and Damian Lillard, 6 assists, plus 119 on FanDuel. I didn't really check other Bucks. DraftKings doesn't really give you the ability to take 6 assists. They did give you the 25 and 8, but those are criminal lines for Giannis over there. But I like this one. If you want to take an individual line, you're like, Austin, only on PrizePicks, or hey, I used your sleeper code to get that 200% deposit match. What do you like here? I like Giannis probably for points plus rebounds, but I like both these 2 props. In the Bucks' first game of the season, we had that SGP with Gary Trent Jr. and Brook Lopez that came through. Let's maybe try a theme with Bucks SGPs. Giannis in that first game, 25 and 14 rebounds. Didn't shoot a ton, got 16 free throw attempts. Lillard, 6 assists, but 18 potential assists. If you look at this Bucks team, obviously still down Chris Middleton, they don't really have any guys that can create offense for the team outside of Giannis and Damian Lillard. I think that's the reason he had 18 potential assists. I think he could realistically approach 10 assists tonight in a better matchup against Chicago. And I like this spot here. We saw last year versus Chicago, Giannis dominated them 35, 26, 32, and 46 points, 11, 14, 12, and 16 boards. And besides the game he got injured in the past year or two against him, played 9 minutes, Giannis, 25 and 8, 12 of his last 13 versus the Bulls. So this is just a matchup he has absolutely destroyed. They can't stop him. Nikola Vucevic in the paint, yeah, GG. They're not have no chance. Patrick Williams, have fun. And the same side, Lillard, I think he gets those assists. This is a matchup that he did well against last season. 5, 13, 9, and 7 assists, albeit Alex Caruso was on that team, a very good perimeter defender. But still, Dame's going to be out there dishing it. If we're lucky, we'll get some Dame dishes to Giannis, who just can go dunk on some people. I really like this 3-leg SGP, 25 and 8 from Giannis, 6 assists from Mr. Damian Lillard at plus 119 on FanDuel. Just a half unit play. But those are our favorite picks of the day, 6 of them. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully we can have a winning night. And like I said, there's a good chance we add a play or two down below in the pinned comment. When they are live, just go check it out. I'll have them live by noon Eastern time. So you have plenty of time to get those in. Sign up for Sleeper with code COS. Some other NFL videos on the screen. And we have a college football video that will be live around noon today as well. Good luck today. Let's go Suns. Let's go all these other picks, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.